feeling. It's still extremely, extremely good. It's not too much of a surprise. Powder Collector. Now, I put this in B tier last time. Let me tell you, I think past me was crazy. I think there might even be S tier. My recent runs with Powder Collector have been amazing. It just generates you extra momentum halfway through your shot. Then boom, you go flying across to the other side of the map, pop some more pegs, get tons of extra damage. Now you're also getting bombs. I've been really impressed with it. I mean, yeah. Honestly, okay, this is a bit crazy. I'm gonna put an S tier. That's extremely, extremely crazy, I know. Especially since it like screws over stuff like Minotaur. I forgot to mention that about Bomb Baton. But yeah, I'm gonna put it next to House of Slime. Like, if you get Powder Collector, House of Slime, and you have, let's say, Short Fuse or Heavy Hand, which it's very easy to hit at least one of those in your run, especially if you have I've Turtle or Peglin Tuition, you are actually in such an amazing spot, especially if you want to pick up the best orb in the game, which is, of course, Rubble. But all of those stuff, it's just so well good together. Like, my recent Powder Collector run's been insane. I can see why I put it in B tier last time. Past me was crazy. Like, some of these things, absolutely crazy. I mean, I didn't even know what Taunt Sash did. Taunt Sash is in Buff or Remove. Like, it should be in Buff or Remove with what it is. It's just it turns out it has another effect, which, yeah, that effect's pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to put Powder Collector in S tier. I think it's really, really good. The momentum you generate in a single shot, it's really nice. So, yeah, okay. I put this in S++ tier last time. I can see that. It makes sense. I think I'll just chuck it on S tier for now. +1/+1 is just a nice boost to have. You're very happy to pick it up. A lot of the times you want to be doing like mass procking, for example. Just having +1/+1 base, like even on Ballad, it's just fine. Like +2 Psychic Shield, sure, I'll take it. Yeah, it's just a decent passive to pick up. Primal Frost. It was in S++ tier last time because Pierce is obviously an absolutely insane effect. Now, however, it has been nerfed, which means it goes in. This is actually a tough call. S tier. I'll put it at the bottom. I think that it's very, very good a ton of the time. You do have the shots where it doesn't pierce, and honestly, you're just fine that it doesn't pierce. You're just like, sure, it should have been nerfed, it got nerfed, and I'm paying the price for it, and it's still like extremely good. I think it still just deserves the S++ tier. Kind of crazy, but that's just how it is. Pumpkin Pie. I like this passive, so I'm just going to put an S. It generates you a lot of extra power in your shots. Maybe it's not that crazy. Sorry, S. Oh, I think I meant IA. I can't tell exactly where I wanted to put it. I think it's very, very solid, generating you some extra movement on your shots. I feel like high A or low S. I don't know. I feel like I don't pick it enough to put it in like low S, so I'll put it in high A. But I could definitely see other spot. Rallying Heart. I actually had that one run recently that was nice for Rallying Heart. Fine, I guess I won't put it in Buffer Remove like I did last time. I do think Rallying Heart could be a more interesting version than it currently is, but it's fine. Like, I had max health improvements and I had Rallying Heart, so I think I got like 27 health heal, which, like, for Grucy 17 plus, I can't recall exactly what the number was. You're not going to complain too much, but yeah, it's certainly fine. Puppet. So, no longer will I be calling Puppet the better Taunt Sash. Puppet is still just a very nice high roll passive to pick up. Like, I'm versing Crossbow, better pick up Puppet. Just claim myself 30 extra max health. It's pretty decent. A lot of the time, it's just going to be popping a sapper for you. It's not going to be that crazy, but like, it's a fine passive. I like it. High B or low A? I think high B is pretty fair for it. If I pick up a puppet, I'm just like, okay, nice, I have a puppet, but it's really nothing crazy. Recon. It now doesn't deal decreased damage. Look, I put it in S tier last time. I don't know if I even agree with that. I guess there are fights where you don't have bombs. Recon has been so amazing recently, though. Like, I've been able to build comps fully off of Recon. I think it deserves the S++. Not having decreased damage on either of those passives is just massive. Although, at least I don't think they do. I can't fully recall. Alchemist got nerfed to 5% instead of 7%. Whatever. I think Recon generating all those extra bombs back is just super valuable. Especially, you remember the Refreshive combo I told you about. Speaking of which, Refreshive, I wonder where that's going. Wait, what? I had an S tier last time? Okay, wow. Are we filibustered? There's only one spot this can go. It's a passive you can get at the start. It's probably the best passive you can get at the start. The extra power you get off of your refreshers becoming AoEs that deal like a solid chunk of AoE damage. It's insane. Really, really good passive. It just says that. I don't think I need to explain that one too much. Refresher course. Now, I probably rated this one. Okay, no. S tier last time. Yeah, I'm putting this one in S tier. I've been really impressed with my refresher course run just recently. Refresher course is just enough to make Least good enough. Like, I didn't expect it would be, but it actually is. Like, it managed to melt through the Demon War mini boss, which, like, I was impressed by. I've been very impressed with the stats it gives. I I'm definitely just chucking it there. Refresh Shield, it's a solid passive. I'm happy to pick up a Refresh Shield. It's just a pinnacle of B, I'd say. You're very happy to pick it up, but it's not going to be too crazy. Seeing that I put an A last time, that's pretty fair, but I've probably played a bit more Cruci 15 active since then, and Cruci 15 is very punishing for Refresh Shield if you don't have Round Guard or Decoy. Yeah, Refreshing Punch. Now, it's pretty bad, right? Because you only get this benefit when you hit refreshes. Um, okay. Especially with Leaf, it's just absolutely nuts. The extra pegs you get to proc is really, really good. Adding refreshes onto the board is amazing. Like, adding refreshes onto the board so that you can then get extra procs off of your refreshing punch is just worth it. Like, I'm sure that Replenish Soul and Refresh Circles are pretty much insta pickups if you have refreshing punch. It's just a really, really nice passive. Refresher, yeah, honestly, I'd say that's pretty fair. It deserves S tier. It has a lot of really nice combos, and it's really nice to pick up if you're getting this. Just because you need a refresh source, and Morbid's really good at killing things. But it probably definitely doesn't deserve S++, I guess. It's very neat, and especially with the cookie nerf, it is actually a bit weaker. I went rate it a bit lower than this, though, but well. Ring of Indignation. I like the new Ring of Indignation. I'd say A tier. Where did I have it last time? I had it. Okay. Yeah, no, I'll just put an A tier. You're pretty happy with the AoE damage it's dealing. Like, it's really not worth it in terms of what the health you're losing is. But a lot of the time, like, for example, that time I got an extra 200 damage against Resistance Knight. Like, I didn't want that extra 200 damage, but the fact that I got it meant that I probably didn't lose any more health that fight, so it was fine. I like the fact that it was changed, and it's at least a very interesting change, right? Maybe it could be 10 or something crazy. Persist. I've been really enjoying my recent Persist runs. I probably rated it a bit lower previously. Yeah, I'd happily put that in A. Like, there are a lot of orbs that I want to be shooting again. Super nice. Yeah, I put it top of C. I've definitely switched a bit on Persist. Because the thing is, when you're shooting bad orbs, it's really bad. And if you don't have Ambi, it's so much worse. But you really want to be shooting your good orbs, and I feel like the good orbs are gooder. Like, I think it's just worth it. Okay, the new Repostal service. So I definitely had Repostal service in Buffer removed here last time, and I was completely correct. New Repostal service is very interesting. I think we'll put it in B. It deserves like the same spot as Puppet, really. Sometimes it's super nice. Most of the time, it's not going to do anything. And when it does stuff, the thing that it's doing is pretty funny. Safety Net. I love Safety Net. Tons of extra damage. It deserves S tier. Yep, fair, cool. That's what I said last time, and that's what I'll say this time. It's just a very decent chunk of extra damage per shot, which can't be interacted with in any way. Like, if you've got a 20 damage orb, that's just baseline 100 damage. I'm more than happy to just get that. Soul Shaker, it's definitely, like, let's be real. The main reason why Soul Shaker is good is because Growing Monster still exists. That's basically just it. Although there are more max health small gain sources in the game now. I think that Soul Shaker is definitely interesting. I'd say B again, yeah. Fair. I think it deserves this tier. It's just very, very, like, decent passive that you're happy to pick up a lot of the time. Okay, well, I don't know about you being included in that. But you're not expecting it to do a crazy amount. Line 5, I believe it is now. It's something. C tier? I don't have enough in C tier. Let's put some more in C tier. Like, a lot of this stuff can probably go in C tier. Some of it goes even higher, honestly. Like, frankly, I wouldn't even be surprised if I put Applade in, like, A tier. Like, the 15 extra max health is decent, but yeah. So Sash. So I'm just considering both Sashes here. Like, they're basically the one and the same passive. There's only really one spot I can put this in Buffer Remove. It's obviously a very bad passive, you know. Only prevents lethal damage once. Oh, sorry, I misclicked. Yeah, I'm just going to be sending them both up there. They are extremely good. Halving all incoming damage rounded the way you want is really nice, and proccing it's not too hard. There are quite a few good ways you can set up, making sure you can heal afterwards as well, but you do generally want that ability to heal up afterwards. You can probably set it up pretty easily. Yeah, no, I think it's just definitely S++ tier. It's a really good passive to be hitting. Alright, Sapasax. Yeah, I put it low A tier last time. I say that's pretty fair. It's good AoE damage, but you really don't want to be picking up too often at all. Like, if you can find the chest piece on Peglin for it, then, like, sure, you're pretty happy to pick it up, because you've got a lot of extra bulk there. But without that, it's pretty rough. Mask of Joy, it's super nice on Bland. It's pretty fine in a lot of other spots. I think I'll definitely just chuck it in S. I had it rated a lot higher previously. I think I was on a bit of a Bland high then, perhaps. Oh, because it was so good with Baladroit, I remember. Yeah. Makes sense to be fair because like the old Baladroit was very nice. Oh, that's probably why a lot of the Ballad passes are maybe a bit higher than they should be. Oh yeah, Peace of Mind was so high then as well. Yeah. It's definitely a lot weaker now because Baladroit is a different passive. I like new Baladroit though, especially since training in Tubbat and added advantage exists. But yeah, I'm going to be checking that there. Prime Slime, it did get nerfed before it was in very easily S tier because it was an amazing healing passive. Now I just chuck it, I think, low S tier. It's a passive you're very happy to pick up. It's really quite good. Refloss of the Stone, just a decent chunk of extra cash. A lot of good synergy you can find for it. Most of the time you're not going to be picking it up. I think I'll chuck it in A tier. Super Boots. Super Boots is an amazing passive. I'm having trouble putting it in S++ tier, so I think I'll just chuck it in S tier. You're really happy to pick it up. It's quite good a lot of the time, especially with like new heavy hand. You're getting a lot of healing, especially with how the new black holes work. You can set it up pretty well into them, and to top it all off, like it has the weighted chip as well. Like it's actually just very solid, and it's a starting passive that you can get, so even easier to hit. Wool Chicken, decent max health. We're very happy to pick it up. I think I'll just chunk it solidly in S. You're very happy to pick it up. It's just decent max health gains. Scoutment Greed. They did change it so that it's meant to be better now. I don't know, man. I'm still not particularly impressed with it. I think you could go through another change. I think that's pretty fair. 3 exploitable. I think that could be 4 like more exploitable to be fair. 30% extra damage increase on crits is pretty nice, especially if all of your hits are crits. It's nothing crazy though. I think I agree with B. I think I can just chuck it in B. You're happy to pick it up, but like it's not actually gonna warp your run fully. Some of these actually do have run warping capabilities though. 10 delusion per enemy. Okay. Sure. Give me something interesting, please. Here we have times 2 damage, but -3 damage on pegs you hit. So multiply is really good, but a lot of the time when you're gonna get offered this, you already have peg blocking. So you're sitting there just like, do I really downgrade my pegs for double damage? Like, I don't know, it's pretty tough to take a lot of the time, but sometimes it is going to be very interesting. Obviously, it wasn't rated last time because it didn't exist. I'll check you B. I think you're quite an interesting boss passive, but most of the time you're not going to pick it up. 1 exploitable, 200 crit. So pretty decent, especially if you have a Mask of Sorrow. Just the extra damage getting to scale up there. It's really nice against some mini bosses and elites in particular. Sorry, mini bosses and bosses in particular. I think low A is pretty fair. I think we'll chuck it like there. Along with yeah, there. Clear the Way. I think compared to Spiffy, it's definitely a bit worse. Which is a surprise. I thought it would be much better. But like, okay, no, I put it in approximately here last time too. It's definitely a fine passage to pick up, but it's nothing too crazy. 2 temporary crits. I think it could be more than 2 temporary crits. Sure, I've gotten some use out of it, but like, you need to combine it with other things to get use out of it. It's not as interesting as it could be. Tier 10 Illusion on a crit. This one, however, yeah, S tier. It's really good. The amount of illusion that you're getting per crit, like spam critting is really valuable on round rule, and even on Peglin Tuition, just picking this thing up, like, that sounds pretty nice. It did get buffed, so when you Bramble now, you get 8 blind instead of what I think was 2 before. So much better. It's definitely a setup passive. You need other stuff with it. But like, if you find an AoE and Sandos and Branch of Ember, you're very happy with this. Haglin says now 15%. I had it rated pretty high before, now it's 15%. I think I'll definitely just chuck it here. It's only moved up a few spots despite being buffed. I think I was much higher on it previously. Maybe it had just been released. But yeah. Flaunty. So Flaunty, especially with Mask of Joy, is super nice. Flaunty without Mask of Joy, it's obviously slightly rougher, but you're going to get enough illusion to dodge every now and then. I think it deserves this B tier slot. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is an amazing passive. I had an A tier last time. I'm putting an S tier. We now have heavy hand in. We now have heavy hand in the game, so it's just like feels much better. Getting that finesse is so good, especially with the new Ballad, I believe it is, or maybe it's the other small one. Oh yeah, not Ballad, obviously. Ballad does the an entirely different orb. But either of the small orbs, it's like really decent with. You're really happy to pick this up, especially more so than the other crit passives. Mhm. Subtraction, it's definitely decent. I think I'll just put it low 80. I think it sums up that spot pretty well. I'm very happy to pick it up. It's going to decrease damage by a pretty decent chunk, but it's nothing crazy. Compared to Wool Chicken, no, yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair. Alright, Training Tabard added advantage. I'm gonna chuck it in S. It's a bit crazy, I know, but there are a lot of ways you can spam game the circle, like in particular Brusque being so high. So I think it just deserves that. It's a really, really decent passive to pick up, and training will just chuck it in A tier. They're both very decent, especially when you can combine them. When you can combine them both, they both like go up a tier in terms of how strong they are. It's actually crazy being able to combine them both, especially when you also have additional bullet games on top of that, either this or the two extra right there. It is. Yep, double crit chance. So I probably rated this pretty low last time. I want to check where I rated it. Okay, A tier. Yeah, I'm now going to just slam it in S tier. It's a guaranteed crit, not a lot of the time. It's like really, really nice to have on Randall. So I think it definitely just deserves that spot. A lot of the time you do want to be doing pollution stuff, so you are going to be getting that guaranteed crit. And there's nothing Randall loves more than an instant crit. Counterfeit. Now I think counterfeit is really, really strong. I'm having a bit of trouble putting in S tier. You notice you have a lot of extra crits, but you do need something slightly more than that to go along with it. I think that it deserves very high A tier though. Nah, I think I can very much justify it being an S tier. Such a good passive. You generate so many extra crits, like on par with Shuffle Pot with how many extra crits you're generating. As long as you can find that little piece that pushes you over the edge. All right, when you lose all your bullet game on balance, I think that we can just solidly chuck this in B tier and move along. Maybe even C tier, to be honest. I kind of like it though. Honestly, pretty fair. We'll put it high C tier. Like 50% health, you have a guaranteed crit. Yeah, I think that these two might. They should just be more interesting, to be honest. Like, it's not like crazy. It's not bad design at all, but they're just not as interesting as I think they should be. Your refresh also crit, much weaker than this. In fact, I'll put a whole tier down. But you're still very happy to pick it up. Like extra crits, most of the time you're going to be liking that. I feel like I see this passive way too much on Belen, but yeah, refresh perspective. I really like refresh perspective, especially since it's also starting passive. It's just like super nice. I put it in S tier last time. Maybe a bit high. I'll put it top of A tier. It's an extremely good passive a lot of the time. Sometimes though, you're not going to be doing spam procking. It's not going to be as strong as you'd want it to be. We got chest piece. So this one is really very solid. I think we can just chuck this in S tier. I think it just solidly deserves it. A lot of the time you're super happy to pick it up and you're getting a lot of use out of this. Dodgy Dagger. Dodgy Dagger did get changed to be whenever you evade an attack, so now it works with blind, much to the I had a run recently where that was quite unfortunate. I had an A tier last time. I think it deserves S tier. There's now more Belusion stuff, and a lot of it's actually pretty decent. So I think that I can definitely justify it being an S tier. Asperity. Asperity is decent. You're generating an extra orb a lot. If you've already got a multi-procking comp, you're probably going to burn through it if you pick it up in Area 1. Area 2, you can pop through it as well, but you kind of need like Machuska Shelf. I think I can solidly chuck it in B. It's a decent passive to pick up a lot of the time, but yeah. When you discard an orb, upgrade it temporarily for that fight. It's cool. It's fine. I'm yet to pick it up. I haven't actually like used it really. Its perfection damage increases by 5 per area. I actually think this one is pretty impressive. I've been impressed with the use I've gotten out of it. Obviously, though, it's a combo piece, but when I picked it up, I've actually like gotten good use out of it. Sure, I'll check it there. I think it deserves that. Gain 1 Belusion every time you apply a debuff. Now, usually this isn't the most crazy, but I feel like a lot of the times I pick it up, it's actually getting me quite a decent chunk of Belusion, so I'm going to chuck it there. Like my bombs perhaps apply a blind or a spinfection, or maybe I have effective criticism. When I lose health, gain 2 times Belusion. I also think this is a very solid passive. Like I said, there are just a lot of really good Belusion sources, which means that this guaranteed crit for 2 times your Belusion is actually just like pretty good. Mini boss meetup. I like mini boss meetup. Spinception, yeah, it's decent. I think I'll just chuck it here. They're probably very close to the same kind of power level. Alright, so I believe this one is Kinetic Meteorite, not Ancient Meteorite. They are kind of hard for me to tell at that point, though. This one's the old Crismolysis Fleece, probably Ancient Fleece, I believe it's called. So Kinetic Meteorite, I think it's a very decent passive. I probably had it in S tier last time because I was feeling generous and I bumped it up a tier on where I would usually put it. Yeah, it's a decent passive to have a lot of the time. They both look like Ancient Meteorite to me. Oh well. Yeah, I think I'll just put it in A tier. I think that it's solid a lot of the time. That looks like Ancient so much. Anyway, Blue Good Boots, your Belusion cap is 999, recently buffed. Yeah, I think it's still just I probably put it higher than I would have normally put it. I can't seem to find it. Or did I put it in the buff tier? I don't know where it is. Oh, B tier, yeah. Yeah, that's where it belongs. If you find Illusion Synergy and somehow you find enough Illusion Synergy to push you over the cap, then yeah, it's decent. You're going to like it. Like, getting more than 100 Illusion is super fun. But yeah, it's just not that impressive. Is this your card? Let's just quickly do this so we have one whole row done. I like it quite a bit. It's cool. I think it deserves that solid B tier slot. You're pretty happy to pick it up. Sometimes you even get good use out of it. Shield Basher, I think we just put it there. Nothing really interesting to say about it. Even Shield Cops don't really care about picking it up. The new Seal Conviction. I think I'll just. Oh, ooh, do I do that? Ooh, that's It's certainly a very good passive. Like instant effect and effect on discard. If you can combine that with double discard ambi, like that's super nice. I think I'll put it low S. It's still pretty new, so we'll see what I think of it next time I do the tier list. But yeah, no, I think it deserves that. Short Fuse, very, very solid passive. I think I'll just put it high A. I could probably put it in S2, but I don't want to. I don't know, I'm very happy to pick it up a lot, but you do have Heavy Hand, which does do exactly what it does, which is a bit unfortunate for it, but both of them are still very good to aim for. Short Stack, it's decent. I put it low B, I think I'll put it, sorry, high B, I'll put it low A this time. Both decent, I'll put it with all the other crit stuff. 2 balance per reload. I'm really happy with the new 2 balance per reload instead of 1. I think it's a pretty big deal. I'll chuck that in the other balance per reload. I think they're both very, very decent. Next up we have Slimy Salve. I'd say that is like definitely better than Popping Corn now. 1 per 35, and it's the fact that the pick also is durable. Like you can get a lot of healing off of Slimy Salve. I do find it funny how all of the healing passives are basically just A tier and above, apart from Rallying Heart. Because Rallying Heart, you still need to spend the cash if you want to get healing off of it. Bombs apply blind one. So you'll notice bombs apply infection ones around about here. Bombs apply blind one, it's more like here. It's a nice synergy point if you can find debuff distractor, and maybe perhaps like a Mask of Sorrow. But apart from that, oh, okay. Well, I guess it's also really, really good with Branch of Ember, but if you don't find either of those, you're not going to get like anything out of this passive. 1 extra crit on the board, so I'm actually pretty sure that I have 1 extra crit on board. Yeah, I have it in C tier. Yeah, I think I'll. Wait, C tier. It's shockingly low, to be honest. I think that I actually really like 1 extra crit on the board, much more so than before. Like, I literally put that. Wait, sorry, that doesn't make sense. 1 extra crit, 2 extra crits. Honestly, that kind of does make sense. Maybe I'll kick you off a bit, because I feel like you're really quite good. But I think Special Button deserves to be low A tier. Like, having 1 extra crit is actually just a pretty big deal. I think that it's really, really good. Starting 1 with Circle. I don't think I can possibly put this in S++ tier, but I will just put it in S tier. When you pick this up in a blend run early, you're just like, whew, it's amazing. Because you can find the circle synergy for it, you're getting bonus starting shield. It's just good for a whole bunch of different reasons. Like, it's just a really nice pickup to hit early on Belen. Really nice for getting through Cruci with. A lot of the passives that I've found are really nice to get through high levels of Cruci with as an early passive, I've rated it probably a bit higher than you would expect to see them. So that's like Super Boots, Circle, Enhanced Stat, Round Guard. I believe there are a few others here that I may also be skipping up, probably Fresh Banana as well. Navigation Inflation as well, yeah, that's fair to say. Alright, Special Pegs contribute to damage. I think we can just chuck that solidly and see. It's fine. It's nothing really more than that. Maybe I could put it in the buff tier, but I mean, I think it's pretty fine. Suffer the Sling. You're fine to pick it up, but again, it's nothing particularly crazy. Honestly, I'll just chuck that C tier. I probably put that a bit higher previously. Let's just check. Yeah, mid B tier. But yeah, no. I think that it's definitely not as interesting as it once was. I used to like it a whole lot more because it was a lot of damage actually. But now you've got other things that you can kind of rely on. Your refresh move, yeah, it's basically just a tool for shuffle pot. That's it. Nothing more than that. Oh wow, God. Need to zoom out yet again, apparently. Cake. So technically, like there's the whole setup thing where like you need to actually like find cake. You need to have the egg. It's all pretty tough. If you do get egg though, cake, sorry, and egg, of course, then it is extremely, extremely strong. Plus 15 max HP. That's basically a Torn Sash. Obviously, like technically it's like slightly worse than Torn Sash. Oh, I see. But Yeah. Um, training weight. So do I just put training weight in straight S tier? Like maybe it literally just deserves that straight up. That would be interesting. You know what? Sure. I've been really okay. That's just pushing it. But I've been super impressed with training weight recently. Like it's just been working for my crucible runs. I didn't expect it. I probably put training weight okay low A tier. I'd say that was pretty fair. I'm just gonna put an S tier. Like it's been absolutely amazing for my runs. It's a stunning passive, and it's just so good at getting you the damage you need. Because in Crucible you need so much damage. There are so many enemies. You have to melt through like each of them probably one at a time, or you need to find good AoE or like balance. Like it's just so handy. Unicorn Horn. This is nice. Unicorn Horn I probably okay no B tier. Yeah. I think Unicorn Horn I can probably put low A tier. It's now just a very solid passive just for aiming, as well as once you pick it up, Heavy Hand just gets a whole lot better. Because the difference between Heavy Hand with and without the Unicorn, like, it's actually a pretty noticeable deal. So I'm very happy to just pick this up, improve my boss passive options, that kind of deal. Unpretentious Amulet is just an absolutely amazing passive on Blan. I chucked in S++ previously, I think that's fair. It also grants you extra starting shielding because of the change to Baladroit, so I think that's just pretty fair placement. One discussion of power. I had that in high B tier before, it seems. Yep, healing did got nerfed, and so I think it's pretty fair to say, yeah. Most of the time, you're just not going to want to use this passive. You can't really afford to take the self damage, and yeah, especially since a lot of the other boss passives are just a lot better now. So a few of the ones that I dislike are just lower. It's Confusion Mask. Oh, I put that in. Oh, yeah, right. That's where Confusion Mask is. Yep, that makes sense. Weaponized Envy, 100% just going there. I think that it could be so much more interesting than it currently is. Currently, there's no like overheal effect, and sure, it's cool to have an effect which does stuff when you heal, but like, yeah, it could be much more interesting than it is currently. Weighted chip. So weighted chip's decent. If you're getting it and you have super boots, you're pretty damn happy. If you don't have super boots, I put it in C tier previously. Fair. I don't have enough stuff in C tier, so clearly I need to broaden it a bit. It's nice to have when you do have the synergy for it, but if you don't, it's obviously not that nice of a pickup. Well on stake, I have this in A tier before. I'd say low A tier or high B tier. I think high B tier is a better spot for it. You don't want to be reloading, unfortunately, so that's a bit rough. But the healing it gives is, you know what? As I was talking about earlier, passives that I use in Crucible, I go, yeah, I'm really happy I got this passive earlier. I'm going to be placing them a bit higher, and Word on Stake is just one of those passives. Just any access to healing is so valuable, and yeah, that counts as any access to healing. So I think we'll use this one as effective criticism. Effective criticism, I think I'd say it's about 80 along with all the other crit stuff. It's very decent to pick up, and let's just swap out this one actually. You're very happy to pick it up. It's going to have a solid impact, and it's got a lot of good synergy with other stuff, like all of the spam crit hitting stuff, as well as like Mask of Sorrow and gain 1 pollution whenever you apply a debuff. So it's just very solid. We have the Randall Greed passive. Is this Randall? What does Randall look like here? We have the Randall Greed passive. I put it solidly in C tier. I think that it could see some number change, but I don't know. I haven't really used it enough to get a proper idea on how good it is. But 4% per coin event is just not particularly crazy. And now, of course, we have the rating for Heavy Hand, which we'll just use Mini Boss Meetup for that. Yes, Heavy Hand, surprise to no one, is just going solidly in S++ tier. I want to put it, yeah, I'll just put it top. I think that Heavy Hand is absolutely amazing. It does so much more than you'd expect it to. It generates you so much damage. It's just such an amazing boss passive. Anytime you can hit it, you should probably be taking it. Unless like you have literally Refreshing Punch plus another like Refresh Synergy and Leaf is an option. Like then I would take Leaf because I mean like Leaf plus Refreshing Punch is definitely one of the strongest things you can be doing. But if you can't find good combos like that, then most of the time Heavy Hand is going to be that combo. It's going to be generating you the damage. It's going to be giving you the extra procs. It's just such a good passive. Anyway, I may have perhaps misplaced some of these. You tell me which ones you think I've misplaced because I'm pretty happy with a lot of these. I think that I have made some perhaps crazier takes, but you know they're all like pretty solid. Like Power Collector in S tier. I don't know, man. I think it's really good. I think that that's a pretty fair statement, but it's kind of crazy, right? Random invitation there. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with a lot of the stuff that I put in here. I think that a lot of these could be a whole lot more interesting than they are right now. And I think a lot of these are basically bordering on insta picks. That's basically the category for S++. Like, do you just like instantly pick this when you see it? Some of them that's not exactly true for, but most of them is just like you instantly pick this, you are so much happier. You know what I mean? And then the S tier is like these are going to affect your run in a really strong way, but definitely nowhere near as much of an insta pick as S++. Yeah, I'd say that's still pretty true. And then A tier, you're going to get solid use out of this passive, but like maybe not all the time.